Hello everyone, how are you glowing? So excited to be back and putting something out on my channel. Man, I know like we go through times where we're just like, and you know what, it's not even an excuse, but it happens. I go through times where, not necessarily no direction, but I felt like uninspired, like feeling like almost like I didn't have anything to talk about or post on my channel. But that is always a lie, because when you're a mother and a wife and you're trying to pursue purpose and do all of these great things, you always have something to talk about. So this year of January has definitely been very interesting so far. And I wanted to share this because even though I've been going through a lot of other things that I will share, just motherhood, marriage, purpose, healing, realizing that things take time and I just have to respect the process of things. Okay, yeah, I'm going all over and blah 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 blah. This is not even what I got on here for to talk about. So anyway, my daughter, my first daughter, I have two. So my oldest daughter, she just turned 5 last Tuesday, February 18th. And what's interesting is that, like, she could not wait to turn 18. She sounded like me when I was getting ready to turn 30. Like, as I got closer to turning 30, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to turn 30. And I felt that way because I guess in my mind, I thought that, my 20s were going to be over and I was just going to be living this new life, living my best life soon as I turned 30, as if all of my problems were going to go away and all this great stuff. But only to, find out that my healing had really begun once I turned 30. Like, I always talk about Jesus and his ministry. Like, he was 30 years old when he started, his life journey, and it only lasted 3 years, from age 30 to 33. So he was being groomed and everything. Like, God already knew that he was going to use, Jesus, like his life was going to begin at age 30. So I just felt like at 30 I was about to be redeemed and I was going to be delivered. But that's when my real healing really begun, like really. And it's a process. Here I am about to be 32. 2 years later, I'll be 32 next Tuesday. And like, I'm so thankful for this process and this journey because I'm learning so much about myself. It's like, it hurts, it's painful, but I'm so happy that I'm like dealing with things in my life now, like unforgiveness and just healing from childhood things and self-sabotage and a horrible mindset, and really learning that to discern the people that I have in my life and all that great stuff. So it's definitely a process, but embrace it and be authentic and as transparent as you possibly can if you're going through a healing process. I mean, this journey does not stop as we go through life. We have to constantly be seeking elevation and transformation and reforming ourselves and regenerating ourselves and becoming a new person every single day. That's our focus. So just know that, like, it took me a long time to really understand that I am a new person every day. So I can't be who I was yesterday. Because then when I think about it, I have to think about what happened in my life yesterday. What did I do? What did I not do? Like, did I take one step towards purpose? Did I grow in some way yesterday? Like, that's what we have to start thinking about now, versus like, oh my gosh, what was me? My life sucks. I'm worried about tomorrow. I'm worried about not paying my bills. Like, that stuff is important. But if you don't have your life and your mind right, I mean, paying your bills and all that stuff, yeah, it's good, but you will not be able to continue to grow and really become who you are, like reach full capacity of who you really are. And God has created us to hold so much. He didn't create us to hold the things of this world, like the negativity and all this hate and crime and everything that's going on in this world. He didn't create us to hold on to that stuff. That stuff was created for a distraction, for us to not focus on who we're really supposed to come, not to focus on our purpose and things like that, like the important things. We end up focusing on the bad, and oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to me today? Oh my gosh, I might not be able to pay my, like, y'all know, like, oh my gosh, I might be able to get this for my children and that, and blah 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 blah. Like, it's all negative stuff. Anyway, I say all that to say this. So my daughter, and this is why it's so important, like, what we focus on, like how we model our lives in front of our children. This was a light bulb moment for me, because my children are very observing. I know my son is, he's the oldest, and my daughter, she's very observant. And we went to the park. Anyway, yeah, we went to the park. We went to the park because since my daughter has turned 5, I don't know if she has this newfound life. Like, she feels different, she feels older, she feels changed. Like I said, when I was 30 years old, like, when I couldn't wait to turn 30 because I felt like my life was really about to change. And I guess in a sense it was like I saw myself in her, because she kept saying up until she turned 5, she's like, I can't wait to turn 5. When am I going to turn 5? And I'm like, okay. So we were at the park, and she was just sitting there. Like, I was sitting on a bench, and 2 benches over were 2 moms, and they were just talking and having a conversation and stuff like that. And she was sitting down on, there's something that they play on that goes around in a circle, and they like can run and turn it and stuff like that. So she was just looking around, and I was sitting there, and I was like looking on my phone. I was looking in my book. And she looked over at the mom. She was just observing, looking around and everybody and stuff like that. And then she was like, Mom, why don't you go over there and talk to those 2 girls? And I was like, And she was like, Mom, why don't you go talk to them? They're talking. Go talk to them. So I was like, well, Cadence, I can't, because we have a nickname for her, but I called her by her nickname. But she was like, Cadence, I was telling her, Cadence, I can't, because, they're friends. They're talking about stuff, and I don't know them. I can't just go sit in and, get in a conversation. And she was like, I know, but they're girls, big. Pretty much what she was saying is like, well, go talk to them. They're adults and they're moms and they're talking. You need to go talk to them. So in a sense, she was looking at me and she was like, you're sitting over here by yourself. You're not talking to anybody. And maybe you need some friends, right? I think that's what she was saying to me, right? And I was like, wow. And this was like last week, or maybe almost 2 weeks ago. I think this was last week. And my mind was like blown, because you would never, like, yes, you want to model the right life and be a good example for your children, but I would never think that my children would observe me in that way. And I don't even know why I would think that they wouldn't, because they watch everything that we do. And it's important to recognize that, because we don't know what seeds we're planting right now, even when we don't realize it. So if she sees me as a mom or a woman that doesn't socialize much, like, she does not hear me say I'm going to hang out with, like, she only hear me say that I'm going to go hang out with one person most of the time. And she knows who that is. And that's usually all that I say when I am going out to go meet with somebody, this one person. And I was like, wow, because it was revelation for me too. Like, it was awareness for me too, because I was like, man, Crystal, you got to get around more people. You got to start socializing more. You got to get around more moms and stuff like that. And the thing about it is I've always desired to do a community like of moms, because I know how it feels to be lonely, and loneliness is really like a lie. Like, it's a distraction, because God created us to like be in community with people. We are not meant to be isolated or alone, or not be in communication, like, obviously, because there would be no marriage if he didn't create us to be that way, right? He created everyone to be together. So what my daughter was seeing is that, Mom, you don't hang out with people. You don't have other moms, because she only know me to be with one person all the time. And she saw me as this person that's not social. And I believe that this was God showing me, okay, Crystal, this is what you have to work on. Now, I have made attempts in the past to, like, make friends, and I would start like get involved in like network marketing companies just for community. It wasn't even necessarily for the business and to really make extra money. Like, I just wanted to get around people that were doing the same thing that I was doing, moms that were seeking to just do great things and elevating their lives, right? So I would start these businesses with no passion in my heart, but just to be around people and be able to, and it, that worked because it was cool. It was like, I got around women that kind of understood me, I guess, or they were going somewhere and I had a community of women that I could talk to. But let me tell you this, like, I made those friends for a little bit, but it wasn't genuine because I was only involved with them because of the business that we were all doing together. So as soon as I left that business, I didn't have those friends anymore. So that was important too, because I can't seek after relationships and, and socialize in the wrong way. Like, they were a good community of women, but we didn't connect in that way, obviously, to remain friends. It was like one person that I did that we clicked quickly, and we still talk, and I'm thankful for our relationship, but we don't talk as much. And I've never, like, best friends, like, I've had so many bad experiences with best friends. I know that this is one thing that plays a part in me creating new relationships, because I had friends in my life that were just toxic. Like, even from, I believe it was middle school. It started in middle school. Like, I got with a crowd of girls that were just not a good influence on me. I wasn't bad in school, y'all, but they weren't a good influence. And even in high school, I made one friend, a best friend, and stuck with her even after high school. And that relationship was toxic. And it kind of, so not only was I going through these friendships where they weren't working, like they would just always fall apart. My relationship with my boyfriend at the time, my relationship with my parents, every relationship that I had that seemed to be important to me was toxic. Like, it wasn't good for me. And so after high school, pretty much entering into my adult life, like, I was afraid. Like, there was a seed that was planted as far as my relationships that kind of gave me this experience of, like, I did not want to make friends for a long time. Like, I was just afraid of making friends. I was afraid of losing them. And because I would lose friends that I thought was for me, or the people that I thought was for me was doing things that weren't so great to me, I just felt like for a long time, like pretty much throughout my entire 20s, I didn't have relationships. I wasn't building good relationships. And when I thought I had people in my life, I don't know if my activity or my actions and habits ran them away. But when I thought things were genuine, and we had something going, all of a sudden they would like leave, they would stop talking to me, and I'm like, okay. So every time I felt like I was to blame, and I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Crystal, who are you? But it was all a process, because now I'm learning that I had to heal from myself, because if I couldn't love myself and I was only viewing myself as how my previous friendships and relationships were, then of course I'm gonna run people away and sabotage our relationships. And always my focus was on, when are they gonna leave me? Because I know they're gonna leave me, versus me trying to cultivate the relationship, pray about the relationship, and ask God to just have his way and send great people. But my prayer has always been, even throughout my 20s, for God to send the right people in my life. But I knew he couldn't do that until I started healing myself. So that's so important, because if I did not start to heal my healing process didn't begin, I wouldn't be able to hold on to relationships, because my heart would be so jacked up that I couldn't do that. And even in my marriage, like, if I didn't heal, like, my marriage would be trash right now, So it's important, and I'm thankful for this. I thank God for this because now I'll have the keys, and I'll know what to do to teach my children, especially my daughter, to be genuine and be themselves in order to have the right relationships. Like, you don't want friends just because. Like, I had friends just because I was desperate for connection and community and for people. But interruption, y'all, husband calling. But so what I really needed was to be in friendship with myself. First, I needed to be in a deep relationship and friendship with God, like a relationship. God, you know, I needed to have a connection with him and a connection with myself and love myself first before I could say, okay, now I'm ready for genuine relationships, because I'll know how to cultivate them and keep them. So even now, I have relationships in my life that I almost sabotaged and messed up because I started to see the negative in them, just like previous relationships. And that's how I know that my healing process is still going, because even now, even though I'm healing, I'm slowly but surely getting rid of those same feelings. Like, of course, triggers, right? So triggers will happen, and I'll get people in my life and I'm like, man, they're great. Like people I have in my life right now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for them. But then the old habits will start to try to come up, and I'll start to try to find the negative in them. In a sense, all I'm doing is trying to run away before they leave me. When my actions and my thoughts should be, okay, praying and learning this person and understanding them and really cultivating a relationship, getting to know them and how we fit with each other, personalities and stuff like that, so the relationship can remain, especially when it's great people. But what tries to happen is that I try to find the negative. I try to find a reason why I need to run away. I try to find every single reason why this relationship can't stay. So that showed me, because I'm aware, it showed me that this is what I was, since I experienced that in the past and I couldn't keep relationships for some reason. Everybody was, stabbing me in the back. I was like, okay, no. Because I don't want the pain of losing friendships again, or any type of relationship. Not unless God is just like, okay, that person is just not for you, girl. Discernment is everything. But right now, I know the people that I have in my life right now are awesome people. And I have to be careful of myself. Right? I have to be careful of myself, because if they're not meant to be in my life, then I could just pray in God. If they're not meant to be there, remove them. If they're just for a season, let your will be done. Because if they're here for a reason, there's something that we're supposed to do together, or something I'm supposed to learn, something that's supposed to happen where, your will can be done in my life. Right? So y'all get it. Y'all get the gist of everything. So pretty much my daughter was like, Mom, you need to be more social. And of course, because of my failure with relationships in the past, it sabotaged me, because I always felt like I could do everything by myself. I would always feel like I don't need anybody. I could do this. I could do that. Like, even as an aspiring entrepreneur, I'm called to entrepreneurship and finance and building wealth and stuff like that. And because of that, these lies and these distractions will try to come in my mind and tell me, okay, you don't need that person. You don't need to be teachable. You don't need to be coachable. You can learn it all on your own. You could do it all by yourself. But that's a lie. In all reality, no. God made us to be with each other, to help each other, to build each other up. That is the only way we could be successful, is when we're serving each other as we serve God. So how, if I'm trying to do everything on my own, I guess I'm about to go and just, I'm finna, like, even as a business owner, I'm about to be the marketer, the designer, the graphic designer, the manager, the everything. And I can't do that, because if I try to do that and I don't delegate tasks or go get a mentor or a coach, I'm not going to be successful, because there's only so much that I can do. And that would be like, that's what I tried to do, y'all, because I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to be involved with anybody. I didn't want to be involved with anybody, and I was just sabotaging myself. Like, oh my gosh. Like, so now I'm even willing, like, now to, like, for mentoring and coaching, because God really had to speak to me and tell me, Crystal, you have to be teachable. You have to be coachable. You just need the right people in your life to teach you and coach you. And I even tried to run from that. Like, even right now, I have 2 women in my life that are awesome. Like, I didn't have my mom. You know, she's there, but she wasn't there in the way that I needed her to be. So that was another thing for me too. And that's why I knew that I needed women in my life, wise women, to teach me and groom me as a woman. Because imagine me getting married in the mindset that I was in. Can we talk about toxic? Yes. And even my husband was that way. Like, just, we both weren't healed from things. So I got married that way, and I couldn't keep relationships, and we were messed up. Thank God, by the grace of God, we're still hanging on. But now I even have 2 women in my life that are amazing, like godly women, and they are like mothers to me. I mean, and I'm so thankful for that. Like, and I almost did something to cause them to leave me, all because of myself and trying to run away. And I didn't want nobody to tell me what to do. And I didn't want, you know, like, it was all of this stuff, all because of things that I had dealt with from my childhood. So this is so important. If you're a mom and you have, okay, if you're a mom, duh, you have children. But pay attention to how you handle relationships, and what type of relationships you have, and the people that are in your life. Pay attention to your relationship with yourself, most importantly, and then your relationship, first your relationship with God, and then your relationship with yourself, and then your relationship with the people around you. Because how you love God and how you love yourself will show in the way that you love the people around you. Whew, that's deep. And because that shows, your children are watching, and they're going to be the same way. They're gonna be the same way. Whether you're teaching them it regardless. You think you're not, but you are. They're gonna be the same way. So my daughter watching me at the park and saying, Mom, you're not talking to anybody pretty much. You don't have a friend out here with you. Why aren't you talking to other moms? Because when I go to the park, we're not meeting up with anybody else. We just go. But there's a lot of moms out there when we do go. First off, no black moms. And then second of all, if it is, it's a whole bunch of moms out there, but they're together and talking and laughing. And I don't do that. So she's telling me, Mom, you need friends. You need to start socializing. Because if she's looking at me right now and seeing this, as she get older, she'll feel like that's okay. Or she might not. Because I'm not doing it, and if I hadn't become aware, then I wouldn't be able to teach her that these are the type of relationships that you want. Look for this in this person, and look for this in this person. Pray for this and pray for that as you cultivate relationships. And it's so important as our kids, even now, my son in elementary school, like, I need to be teaching him about the type of friends that he want to have, because he's 8, but he can understand when a person is bad and when they're a good person. I know they're young, but influence happens now. So I'm done rambling, y'all. Hope y'all get it. It was just awareness for me, and I'm just so happy to be back and recording a video. So remember to glow. Remember to affirm yourself. Remember to do what makes you happy, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Remember to heal. Remember to embrace yourself and love yourself. Affirm yourself, and just look around you and really pay attention to what's going on. Look at your life. Look at your children, and just start to, you know, go after what you desire to have. Go after, you know, becoming like full capacity, like being full capacity in purpose and fruit and all the good things. All of the good things. So until next time, I'll talk to you guys. Peace.